It will be a rain-shortened event, but that will only add to the excitement of the 2023 TruBank Des Moines Challenge presented by Discraft. You're watching Tournament Central on the Disc Golf Network. I'm Grant Zeller alongside the man who never needed to use the Konami code because he doesn't need extra lives to beat the game. It's Brian Earhart. Brian, we last spoke about the MPO field last week, believe it or not, Friday afternoon, because yesterday's official round 2 was canceled, making today's round 2 the final round of the event. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, got to do what you got to do at this point, and I think once these decisions are made, which they're made with a lot of variables taken into consideration. Obviously, we talked to Seth Munsey this morning, who was the main man behind the charge of having to make these tough calls with the weather yesterday. And you know what? The players have to make a choice. Like I said, am I going to feel like something wasn't handled the way it should be handled, or should I just take the conditions as they are and do the best I can? And I think there's a lot of players out there that are going to take the latter. So Simon Lizotte, funny enough, mentioned to me that he just predicted that the round was going to be canceled very early on in the day and pretty much just rested in bed all afternoon and all evening. So we could have a few players that did the exact same thing as Simon, have some well-rested boys out there, Grant.
We last heard from one of our twosome of leaders, Gannon Buhr, nearly 48 hours ago. Here's what he had to say.
Coming off my lowest rated round in maybe 5 years at the DDO. I shot 5 over the final round. I was obviously still tried, gave it my all, never gave up. It was just, I've been on this like kind of month-long slump since OTB Open, where I've kind of just like maybe like a couple things happened from keeping me from shooting a really good round, and you know, I feel like I play a lot better when I'm in like these like more league card situations, and I just haven't been there. And you know, that final round at DDO, I felt so lost, and I had no idea what to do this week. My backhand form had been causing me issues, so the last 4 or 5 days, I've literally just been grinding backhand form, just hours of work every day, just trying to fix it, and being really frustrated to the point where I was up till 2 a.m. People sleeping in my base, and I'm up till 2 a.m. throwing in my net, taking videos of myself because I need to figure it out. And you know, after hole 1 and hole 2, missing the circle 1 putt and hole 2 for birdie, I kind of just felt hopeless again. Like it felt like I just didn't belong. In you know, there's like a lot of expectations with, I guess, people like calling me one of the top players, and like I've won before, so I know I can do it. And you know, being in that space of mind where you're just not performing like how you should, it was just really stressful. But kind of just out of nowhere, I just strung together like 5, 6, 7, turned into 8 birdies in a row, and then just a couple errant shots that I had 2 pars on the back 9. And other than that, just birdied out.
Brian, Gannon says he feeds off of being out in front, but this is an unusual situation with only 18 holes in the books. The field has not spread out the way it normally might through 2 or 3 rounds of competition before the final round. He's got a lot of players on his heels that he won't be able to see. How do you think Gannon will respond?
Well, I mean, he says he likes being out in front, but he has some chase card victories underneath his belt, so I think he's good from any position. And I think right now he is working through some of these psychological challenges that happen when you're no longer a 14-year-old kid that just crested into the 1,000-rated world. You are now solidifying yourself as one of the best in the world, like he said, and now there's new pressure with that. He has to just kind of regrow into himself, and like he said, the moment he forgot about that, he can kind of drift away into his natural state, which is just playing disc golf stress-free. Strung together 14 out of 16 birdies out here. That is ridiculous disc golf. So I don't think he needs to do much of anything except for just sink into this moment. He's played this course so many times. He actually mentioned to me he likes that the wind is up. He can play a little bit more conservatively, grab the birdies when he needs to.
I don't envy the play-by-play crew today because they'll have to keep Gannon and Gavin straight. Talking about Gavin Babcock, tied for the lead. We heard from Gavin.
What's your first impression walking off the course?
Surprisingly calm. Just kind of rough start. Missed like a short circle 1 putt on 1 little straddle. Got 2, didn't get 3 or 4, and then which I feel like those are definitely some scoreable holes. But yeah, luckily I played skins yesterday. Shot like 12 down with a bogey, and so I was like, I'd just try to carry that into today, and game's feeling really good.
Nice. Do you feel like that skins match, does it help you like solidify your game plan, or does it do something else for you?
Yeah, it definitely helps because you're playing a little bit more aggressive. So if things are feeling really good and you can just keep up those aggressive lines, and I really didn't know what I was throwing on 10 until I had the box on skins and then been sticking with that big hyzer.
Brian, Gavin is still bogey free for the event, still trying to break through on the tour with a victory. He's well positioned.
I mean, yeah, of course he is. I mean, and he's also a local to this course. I mean, he doesn't live too far away, and is used to playing this style of disc golf. And I think, again, we have to say, Gannon praising him so much the other day says a lot. Gannon is very hard on himself, and he's very critical of other players in the division. So for him to say that his friend is coming along and adding 100 feet of distance to his throw this season, that is a lot to be added to the skill set for Gavin Babcock. I did hear that him and Gannon Buhr both did a steak eating challenge with Matt Schlabach yesterday. They had some good food. Sounds like they played some putting games in the basement. They had a nice relaxing evening. It sounds like both of them are ready to go today.
Gannon and Gavin will have to overcome none other than the defending champion from last year at this event. We will see about Simon after this break on the Disc Golf Network.
One of my favorite partnerships with Discraft is the Paul Macbeth molds. The Athena specifically has just been a really fun one because it's a disc that I've been looking forward to. It's definitely a staple in my bag. It sits right between my Undertakers and my Onyx. A little bit blunt nose so it can fight and handle the wind, it can handle some torque, and it's just one that I can throw at all powers. That's what I really like about it. I'm just glad that we're able to make this disc, have it in hand, and have it as a stock disc that anyone can get.
What makes the Halal Guys so deliciously different? You might have heard of our famously long cart lines that NYC fans happily stand in. Today, with over 100 plus restaurants across the globe, we are your place to experience authentic American halal. Enjoy our delicious falafel, Euro sandwich, platters, and sides topped with our famously flavorful white and hot sauces. Order online today and taste how we make different so delicious. The Halal Guys, bringing something deliciously different to the table.
Look at your scores thus far in this round. Nothing changes amongst the top 10. Of course, that figures. Several members just now hitting the first tee pad, and the rest to come right here on the Disc Golf Network. Moments away. One of those who you will see today, Simon Lizotte, the defending champion of this event last year. We haven't spoken about Simon quite as much this year as we did in 2022, but he is in contention and bogey-free thus far.
Well, like I said, I think he's handling the weather situation very well. It sounds like he did not care that it was getting switched to 2 rounds. I think some players had a lot to say about that. I think there were many players in the MPO division that were just itching to get back on the disc golf course, trying to at least squeeze as much disc golf in as they can, maybe try to complete those 13 holes that are required for a round to count. But it just didn't play out like that yesterday. So he just rested all day. He said he watched 10 hours worth of YouTube videos as he was resting, and he's up and he's ready to go today. And I think if he just keeps doing what he's doing. I mean, there were just a couple shots that put him into a late C2 that maybe if he threw them a little bit differently, he'd have himself a little bit easier putt. But other than that, he played great disc golf. It's just a little bit of an adjustment on shots here and there. So nothing really needs to change for Simon. It's just get some easier putts for birdie, that's for sure.
Simon mixed in amongst a lot of GBs on that lead card. Not only Gannon Buhr and Gavin Babcock, but also Greg Barsby. He's been around a long time. We heard from Greg way back on Friday afternoon.
Kind of in netherworld right now. I played a good round on the Pro Tour. It's been a minute. It's been a tough start to the season. So, yeah, I feel really good with the round. I made a bozo mistake on hole 1, threw it OB, easy 5, and just kind of got going from there. I think that it will just be just a little bit of grace on the putting green. You know, my putt hasn't been really strong yet this year. I don't think I've played my best golf just yet. Today is a nice sign. It's a good move in the right direction, but some grace on the putting green, making sure I'm hitting the spot. I did miss a few today, so I could clean it up a little bit. But, putting usually wins these events, obviously keeping it in bounds. But I'll get there. I know it's maybe supposed to be adverse conditions. I'm not the best when it gets nasty, so I'm just going to try to stay within myself and play the game I know how to play. Try not to get too far ahead of myself. Try to get away from the expectation and just stay in the process of playing,
It'll be a treat seeing Greg play from the lead card today. Earlier today, another champion crowned in Norway. Highlights from the Krokol Open after this on the Disc Golf Network.
It's always so exciting when we get new plastics of the Passion, but I always end up falling back on the stock ones. And I like to say its closest counterpart is the Buzz. I think my absolute favorite way to throw it is dead straight and just watch the beauty of a straight flight. They've become a staple in the Discraft lineup and also in people's bags, and to know that people everywhere are enjoying the Passion as much as I am, that's just really exciting for me.
Join the Paul Macbeth Foundation's Builders Club to help bring sustainable disc golf experiences to people and communities around the world. For a small monthly donation, you can help us make a real impact. Your donation will go directly to making a difference. By becoming a monthly subscriber, you'll also receive exclusive updates on our work, special offers, and discounts. So join us today and make a difference with the Paul Macbeth Foundation. Together we can make a big impact, one small donation at a time.
The final round of the Krokol Open earlier this morning in Norway. Paul Macbeth in the hunt, as you might expect. Bradley Williams, the other American, neck and neck with Paul throughout the day. In fact, it was back and forth through the front 9 and well into the back 9. It was Bradley Williams, though, who shot 8 down. And with this putt for par on 18, Williams by 1 over Paul Macbeth. We heard from the champion right after the round.
Pretty sweaty, electric, and excited. Yeah, I'm very stoked. There's a lot of fans, a lot of support, and it was a wild turn of events on the back 9 with some of those putts on those dangerous greens, and it really caught me for surprise. And then I was on for the ride to finish out. Yeah, it was exciting. Yeah, guys, check out the Euro Tour. These guys are doing amazing work. A lot of volunteers, a lot of staff were out there making this production, making it get done out there, and it was a pleasure to be a part of it. So stay tuned.
Brian, it was interesting weather at the Krokol Open because in Norway this time of year, the sun barely sets. Here, though, interesting weather, the wind up for this final day.
Very up. I was standing out there this morning at 6:30, and there was already 20-mile-an-hour gusts. So the one thing I will say, once they get to the back 9, it gets up to about 30-mile-an-hour gusts, and I don't think they're going away anytime soon.
For Brian Earhart, I'm Grant Zellner, sending you to featured coverage of the Des Moines Challenge. We'll see you after the round.